the 8-ball. Is the piano in tune? Yes, definitely.
They're always right. They both don't lie.
I forgot how to play the piano, guys. It's over. I'm done. I'm cooked. All right.
Welcome to Green Brook.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about pianos is that you seem to find them in the most random of places. You'll find them unused in hotel lobbies, donated to thrift stores, abandoned on the side of the road, buried under boxes in a electronics shop, which is where I am today, in Green Brook Electronics in New Jersey, which is not the type of place you would expect to find a miniature acoustic piano, right? This is an electronic shop. You can get consumer electronics here, all the little bits and bobs, little knobs and circuits and all that sorts of stuff. But that's the type of stuff you can find here. It's a very, very cool store. I might give you a little bit of a tour later on in the video. But buried away in the little corner of the store is this tiny little upright piano that I discovered last time I was here at the store and was just infatuated by it. When I first saw it, I thought it might have been a ship's piano. Again, it was covered by boxes. Very big shout out to the folks here at the store who uncovered it for me. I thought it might be a ship's piano. This was a common occurrence. People would even have them custom built for their little private yachts, where they would have a little 5.5 octave piano tucked away in their ship, and you'd play tunes on it, I guess, while out on the open ocean. But this is kind of a mystery piano. There's not very much information available about this brand on the internet. What I can find is that the name on the fallboard is Curtis. And Curtis appears to be a stencil brand from apparently the early 1900s, and the piano was manufactured by the Jewett Company and sold by the Steinert Company. So you got like 3 different brands that are in this whole mess. And so there's not very much information about Curtis pianos. There's a couple. I can't find anything about this exact style of piano, this little miniature instrument. And so it's kind of a mystery. We'll take a look at the inside of it in a little bit here and uncover more of its secrets. But this is quite a neat little piano with some very interesting historical provenance. One thing I will say about it is that although it is currently in rough shape, I think it does have the potential to be a piano that is better than it should be. The action on this piano is, even in its original unregulated, untouched state, relatively playable. It does have some inconsistencies from note to note, but the good notes play very, very well. And the notes that have a good tone have a surprisingly good tone. And I think with some love and care and a few $1,000s thrown at this piano to get it restored, I think it would be quite a nice little instrument. The issue is that the compass of this piano is very strange. Like, I need an extra octave down here to really make it good, and I don't need this upper octave really. I feel like if it was 1 octave lower, it would be a bit more of a playable instrument, at least for the type of music I'm trying to play on it today. I'm also trying to make use of the ranges of the instrument that are most in tune, which is this region right here. So let's come in a little bit closer, perhaps, and take off some of the panels of the piano and get to see what it's like. So let's take a look at the inside of this piano. I've removed the front cover so that we can take a look at the inside and the action, and honestly, it's relatively clean inside. Like, yeah, the hammers are dusty and covered in grime, but the harp is relatively clean and in good condition. The serial number over here is 175800. According to what I've found online for Jewett pianos, that serial number does not line up with anything they made, so maybe they had a different line of serial numbers for their miniature pianos. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. Hopefully somebody in the comments who's more knowledgeable about Jewett and Curtis pianos can tell me a little bit more. Here's the action we have. It seems to be a normal-sized piano action. I don't think everything in here is, like, scaled down. I think it's a normal-sized action. I don't know who made it. I'm not seeing any branding on the action itself. But this is a 5-octave piano. It's 5 octaves exactly, so that's what's happening in here. It's very fun to play. It's a very interesting challenge to play a piano that is this out of tune. But it's a very fun experience, and I can imagine that when this piano is in tune, it would honestly be a delight to play. Like I said, the action honestly feels surprisingly good. Like, for a little tiny child's piano, the action feels better than it should. There is this weird little wooden thing here that helps hold the front panel open to let some of the sound come out, which is really nice. And I'm not sure if this is factory intended or not, but this piece here can just lift right out and doesn't feel incredibly secure, and so we can take a look in there. What we can see is there's a couple of lead weights here on a couple of the keys, which I suppose was a previous piano technician's attempt to regulate the action or make these two keys feel a little bit heavier than they did before. Kind of an interesting approach to do that. I'm sure there's other ways to do that. Normally you'll have lead weight cores in the keys, but these keys are very short. They're not as long as a normal piano keys would be. At least I don't think they are. They look and feel shorter to me. I have heard that the full-size pianos made by the Jewett brand were actually pretty respectable instruments. I've never seen one, but from what I've seen online on piano forums, they are respectable instruments with good tone and a good build quality. And this instrument probably is not of that caliber, but it nonetheless is an acoustic piano made of real wood and made of metal and made of things that can be replaced and repaired. If we come down to the bottom of the piano, which we will show you in a little bit, we can see some more interesting things, and that will tell us where those buzzing sounds are coming from. Let's take a look at that. Taking a look underneath of the piano, we can see what we've got going on down here. We have only 2 pedals. We have your damper pedal, which does damper pedal things. It raises all of the dampers off of the strings. And you have the left pedal, which does the standard left pedal thing, which is to tilt the hammers slightly closer to the strings to provide, or to create a little bit less velocity and create a slightly softer tone. And it's really neat that this piano has both functions. It's not too unusual that it only has 2 pedals. That's pretty standard with more inexpensive pianos. There's a little mark down here on the harp that says F, which probably would tell us a little bit something about the model of this piano or the scale of this piano. That certainly meant something to the people who built and assembled this piano. If we take a look at the soundboard here, we can see that we have quite a few cracks in the soundboard. This may be part of the buzzing issue that we are hearing. I think the bigger issue is the bridge. When I first heard the piano, I noticed a very sudden shift in tone between the registers. So when you're playing up here, it sounds like an out-of-tune piano, but then you get here, right? This is the last note on this bit, and then when you get to this break, the tone changes. If you listen, you can hear that really unusual change of tone, and of course the buzzing starts when you get down here. My initial thought was that that was because the bass bridge was cracked, and a lot of the times you'll find pianos where the bridge pins have cracks running along them and they've become loose and just tension isn't right and things are buzzing. I'm not seeing any cracks on the bridge itself. The bridge looks perfectly fine from what I can, to my novice eyes. And so does the other bridge as well. I'm not seeing any major cracks, none at all, actually, that I can see there. So the bridge is not the issue. So it could be the soundboard cracks causing the problem, or it could be that the bridge itself is loose. Because if I push on this end of the bridge while the notes are playing, which I'll need 3 hands to do, the sound of that buzz goes away. So if we can get some of those low-end notes being played, there we go. So you can see that when I push on that bridge, that buzzing sound goes away, and when I don't press on the bridge, the sound comes back. So I would bet that simply by re-gluing It might not be that simple. Again, I'm not a piano rebuilder. That's a bit out of my scope of knowledge, but that could be fixed, and it might be able to be fixed relatively easy just by reclamping and re-gluing it. There are special tools for that piano rebuilders have. So that's good that it could be fixed. It certainly wouldn't be an easy fix, at least I wouldn't expect it to be, but it can be fixed, and it's kind of neat that we were able to diagnose the problem in a matter of minutes. So that's what's happening down here. Pretty neat. It's a little tiny piano. I love it. It's adorable. Is there a problem?
Yeah, what are you doing, dude?
Making a video about a piano, man.
Dude, I just saw you over here.
Yeah.
Do I know you?
Do I know you? I'm James.
Hey, James, Brad. How
Nice to meet you,
doing,
man.
All right, rocking on, man.
Yeah. What's the story on this little piano?
Dude, this is actually, this is a cool piano. This was from Pat DiNizio, lead singer of Smithereens.
Oh, cool.
And I'm really glad to see you jamming on it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a cute little piano. I've never seen one quite like it.
This was his childhood piano, probably, I'm saying, well, hell, he was probably from the 58, so it's probably mid-60s to early 70s. Mm-hmm.
This piano was the childhood instrument of Pat DiNizio of the local band the Smithereens, which is absolutely incredible. The owner of the store has all of Pat DiNizio's belongings. He's got posters, he's got original album art, he's got all kinds of stuff here in the store. And one of the things that he has is this original piano. And I think that historical provenance is very interesting. And it's also kind of sad in a way to see this childhood piano that a wonderful musician grew up learning how to play on and went on to join a band and tour the United States and maybe even the world. And this was his childhood piano, and here it is just kind of rotting. But at least it's still here. At least it is still with the world, and at least we can still enjoy it and get to see some of its secrets. Super random question. Do you have any idea if it was new when he got it, or if it was old?
Absolutely, I have no idea in a million years.
Okay, cool. But yeah,
all I know is I come into my front of my building and somebody's playing the freaking piano.
You're like, what's happening? You know, you might be looking at this piano, watching this video, and going, James, this is a piece of garbage. It should go in the dump. Why are you making a video about it? It's got this horrible buzzing sound. It's out of tune. It's a tiny little piano. It's not worth anything. And that's the problem. Too many people feel that way about little interesting pianos like this. Remember, this was someone's childhood instrument. They grew up learning how to play piano on this instrument. There's countless memories that were made at this piano, and that person is unfortunately now no longer with us. And to throw away this piano would, to be, in a sense, to be throwing away part of their legacy, and to be throwing away part of their life and their memory. And nobody else would know that unless you talked to the owner of the store and he told you all these really cool facts about this amazing little piano. And I say amazing, there's a grain of salt with amazing. It sounds like that. Which of course can be a problem that can be fixed. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too sappy and too silly. That is that. That has been a little tour of this Curtis child's piano, I suppose we'll say, the childhood piano of Pat DiNizio. Thank you very much to the folks at Green Brook Electronics for uncovering this piano. They practically excavated it out of these piles of boxes that are here in storage. So thank you very much to the folks here who put in the effort to allow me to make this video. If you're in this area, which the location will be in the description below, definitely come by and check out the store. They don't just have electronics. If you need them, electronics they have, but they also have an entire library of really cool books. We spent like, how much money did we spend on books here today? About music and musicians and electronics and just all kinds of cool stuff. They've got a whole library. They've got all kinds of other musical gear. They've got old computers. They've got old robots. They've got like, just come in and look around. It's a great place. They play old rock music. They were playing the Doors earlier. I can't, so out of tune, I can't even play Riders on the Storm. Hang on.
But you know what? Music is always good, dude.
It is,
I don't care
absolutely.
what you're doing. And you know what's interesting? I was actually ready for a brawl. Here I have, this is a little more than a paper cutter, man.
Yeah.
I was just ready to do slashing. Hey, you know what? But I'm glad you're rocking. You got a lot of good stories here, actually.
You were going to cut me up to smithereens?
Fantastic. That's not a pun, or actually,
Yes,
that's a
yes.
nice one.
Yeah.
Nice call out.
All right. Well, hopefully you had some fun watching this video. Again, shout out to Green Brook Electronics. Come visit the store. Their socials will be linked down in the description. I'm sure they make cool content. And thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for tolerating the sounds of this once wonderful little piano, and now it's feeling under the weather. Don't we all? We all have those moments, and this piano is having that time. I just need somebody to come save it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Go check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.